Today we will talk about solving linear equations. Solving equations is the primary knowledge of algebra. It can be used in our daily lives. Principles and processes of solving equations, definitions of ratios will be introduced in this section. After complete this lesson, students will be able to state the principles of equations, state the definitions of ratios, use specific steps to solve a linear equation. Please look at this question. How to determine the correctness of an equation has been taught in the last section. So do you know how to solve an equation? After this lesson, you will be able to solve it. Now let's get started. First, you should spend 2 hours to read the following lesson and try to understand the knowledge. Second, you should spend 30 minutes to watch the teaching video. Third, you should spend 30 minutes to try to solve the following problem using knowledge in this section. There are some properties of equalities. If two equations have the same solution, then we call them equivalent equations. And as we learned in a previous section, this is shown by the equality sign. An inverse operation are two operations that undo each other. For example, addition and subtraction or multiplication and division. You can implement the same inverse operation on each side of an equivalent equation without changing the quality. For example, we know that 5 plus 3 equals 2 plus 6. Then 5 plus 3 minus 2 equals 6 plus 2 minus 2. As well as it goes for the multiplication property of equality. If you multiply each side of an equation with the same non-zero number, you produce an equivalent equation. Formulas are very common within physics and chemistry. For instance, velocity equals distance divided by time. Therefore, we use the common symbols for velocity, distance, and time, and express it thus, like the following. We may simply describe a formula as being a variable and an expression separated by an equal sign between them. In other words, a formula is the same as an equation. Please look at this example. At first, we reorder the equation. Then we minus 16 on both sides. Then we over 7 on both sides. Finally, we got the answer is 2. Now let's talk about ratios. When we talk about the speed of a car or an airplane, we measure it in miles per hour. This is called a rate and is a type of ratio. A ratio is a way to compare two quantities by using division, as in miles per hour, where we compare miles and hours. A ratio can be written in 3 different ways and are read as the ratio of x to y. After learning this section, I believe you have a lot of habits. You should grasp principles and processes of solving equations, definitions of ratios. Please test yourself.